But $1 is, we believe, the minimum to get the health benefit. In other words, 50 cents, no health benefit, $1, health benefit.
Woman.
Yes,
I have
ma'am.
a question. I work with the Family Health Centers in Louisville, Kentucky. I am their community health worker. Now, we may take this campaign to our communities, and they know that they may want to stop smoking, but we have cut the budget to give them a cleaner source of nicotine, like the nicotine patches that we were providing free for our clients or patients, or those that came to our classes for stop smoking cessation programs. Well, that's been cut, so how are we addressing that? So when we take something from someone, we must give them something. And even if it's a safer source of nicotine, where's our money for that? What happened to it, and why is it being cut?
Well, the cessation programs, the legislature passed in the last session the ability for those people who have insurance, the ability to receive the cessation programs through their insurance. So that's one way.
Well, that's with Medicaid, but with Medicare, they're not covered.
Well, we need to try to help them.
Oh,
We need to try to help them when and where we can.
Okay.
No question about that.
so who am I going to talk to about that?
Our legislator left.
Oh, okay, I know how to write.
It used to be me. I'm happy to say that I'm not in the suit anymore on that one. I could be there with you and yell at them.
Okay, thank you so much.
Oh, well, she actually was asking part of my question, but do you guys have a timeline that you're looking at as far as rolling this out, or goals when you're looking to have this done?
Well, first of all, as long as it takes. I want to make that perfectly clear. We want to keep pushing at this for as long as it takes. We hope that we can get some progress on the cigarette tax in this session, the session that's coming up. So that's our timeline on that subject. On the subject of smoke-free laws throughout the state, we're just going to keep hitting it as hard as we can and go community by community in a systematic way all over the state, and try, ultimately the goal is to get a critical mass of communities. We're at 33% of the population covered now. We'd like to raise that considerably, and at that point maybe the state legislature might be willing to pass a statewide law.
One thing I'd like to add on this is
Dr.
we should not forget our children, because we have curricula in schools now, K through 12, which we start working on preventive measures with these kids. And if we can send the kids home with the message, hey Pop, hey Mom, you shouldn't be doing that stuff. You know, that's a potent message sometimes coming from the kids. I've seen that work. So we need to work every angle we can, and working that angle will also hopefully decrease the addiction we're seeing.
I ran into a legislator downstairs, and he said, well, you've raised that tax and then it plummets because people stop smoking. I said, well, it doesn't really plummet, but it does decline. What's your best research on how much that $266 million figure would decline over the, say, following 10 years?
We don't think it'll decline a whole lot. Of course, the more it declines, the better, because ultimately what we're interested in is the health benefit. We want to see fewer smokers, and any decline that does take place in the revenue that the state receives is more than made up in savings on healthcare costs. So, you know, you just got to understand that any way you look at it, it is a winner for the state budget. Anybody else want to add anything? Dave, you want to add anything?
I will say that there are other parts of the state's budget in any given cycle that decline. Look at coal severance tax. Look at the taxes on various forms of pollutants, environmental fees. As a society, we want those to decline, but at the time they're part of revenue of the state's budget. I will make the observation too, and I think it's been alluded to already, but we might look back in a few months, hopefully in a few months, and find that the meeting that's taking place across the street at 1 o'clock is related to this one, because the pension problem is a very, very expensive problem for the state. And so what Ben has mentioned about the timing, we could find that that is, works to the advantage of an effort like this.
So, Mr. Chandler, you referred to your political career a little bit a moment ago, and
Probably shouldn't have done that.
maybe there is speculation that you are just
Not a
moving
chance.
forward to run for other office.
I'm free.
Well, you know,
I've done my time in the barrel.
well, and
So-
I've heard you say that sincerely, but there is speculation that this is just your path toward that. And would it be better, with that speculation, there's some that might suspect your motives with this big push for a tax increase. Would
Well,
it be
David
better?
used to be a politician too, so let's put him in the soup also.
I'm recovering.
Yeah.
Would it be better to put this off until this next election cycle runs through?
There's always an election cycle. That's one thing I've learned over the years. You can't avoid election cycles. So if people say wait till the next election cycle, you could be waiting forever. I'm not. I'm just not running for anything. Period.
Ever
And
again?
my wife is sitting right on the other side of the thing from you. And Melissa, be careful, she'll punch you. But if you need any more evidence of that, we've got a child at Center College.
Case closed.
Yeah, case closed.
So you're not running ever again?
Never say never about anything, but that's got nothing to do with this.
I had a question for Jacob. So, so talk to me a little bit about so all these grown-ups are talking about how to get teenagers or young people not to smoke. What do you think the best bet is? Is raising it $1 going to help? Eliminating easy access? What's your best guess?
Well, I think that the $1 tax will really significantly help because teenagers, I mean, not very many of us have exactly a stable income. So, teenagers don't really have the money to be constantly throwing it away. Most of the kids at my high school have been busted with e-cigs or cigarettes they set up little circles where they trade with each other. They'll put the money together and trade an e-cig, or they'll put their money together and maybe buy a pack of cigarettes. The e-cig is the most popular because they can pass it around. I think that most of the students that I've seen get caught or have seen using an e-cigarette or a vape usually have either some sort of difficult situation they're in, and I think one thing that should also come out of this is maybe better outreach for those students, for people to actually empathize with them and understand why they started smoking to begin with.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I have a question for Jacob too. No, it's okay. I'll do a separate interview.
Thank you, everyone.
He'll be a great interview.
One more comment.
Oh, sorry, go ahead.
With all of these organizations here motivated and thinking the same direction, I feel really good about this. I mean, I work with American Heart, ACC, KMA, and there's others here. And with this many folks involved, this makes me motivated. And thank you for the invitation.
Thank you.
He said maybe needed the